All right, welcome back. In this video, we are going to get our social account data into our social account cell, and we're going to unwrap it using Guardlet in Swift. Now, this is going to be super simple, and it's actually going to set us up really well to kind of put us off in a good point to begin creating our custom user interface for each one of these cells, like you see in the cells here with the image views, the title, and everything else, right? So let's go ahead and let's open up our app and let's look at it. You'll see that we have these yellow backgrounds. If you're not at this point, just go through the first set of videos. They're super simple and you will be on your way to learning all of this and understanding everything you see here on the screen, okay? All right, let's get started. Let's go ahead and move our social account cell into its own file as well as our social account struct. Okay, so I'm going to go to social accounts and create a new file, and I'm just going to hit escape actually and create a new folder. Okay, so a new group, and this group is just going to be called models. We'll call this one actually views, and then in views we'll create a new file and we'll call it social account cell. Go ahead and hit save or create, and in here we're just going to import UIKit and we'll paste that in there. Okay. Next thing we need to do is we need to go over to our folder here and create another folder, and we'll call this models. And then in here, we'll just create a new file, and we will call this file, let's see, what do we want to call this? We want to call it social account, okay? .swift file, and then it's empty for now. Let's go ahead and go back to our viewController.swift and grab this social account struct and command exit to copy it and remove it, and head over back to our social account.swift and paste it in here. Now, since there are only strings in here, we are only going to need foundation. We do not even need to import UIKit. Okay, let's go ahead and go back to viewController.swift, and this is our application. We're getting an error because it thinks that social account's gone, but we just pasted it into social account.swift, so it should be good. Let's just go ahead and reload our application and see if everything's compiling the way it should be. Okay, cool. Now, one more thing I want to refactor before we go on. You see how we're saying cell ID here? I want to put this into a variable and just use it in both places. That way, if for some reason we change that, it's not going to break. So let's go ahead and cut that, and let's just say cell ID. And then let's do the same with this. We'll just say cell ID. And then we can go to the top of our file, and we can say file private var cell ID is equal to cell ID. That way it will use the same cell identifier no matter what, and if we accidentally make a typo, it's going to tell us before we even have the chance to kind of run our application to see it crash. Okay, so that's good to go, and we're ready to continue programming. Let's go ahead and learn how we can get social account into our UITableView cell right here and unwrap that data using Guardlet. So in our social account cell.swift, let's just go ahead and declare a social account variable with a lowercase s. And it's going to be of type social account. And then this is an optional value. And then we're going to say did set. And then we'll say print social account dot title, and you'll see that it has a question mark, and that's because it might not always have a title. So we need to unwrap this so that we can know for sure that we have our data before we try to do anything with it, right? Because if we try and set some data that doesn't actually exist, that could cause some problems, right? So let's go ahead and actually pass the data in here before we do that by going back to our viewController.swift and going down here, and instead of setting text label and all that, let's just go ahead and comment that out, and let's say that cell dot social account, and it's going to recognize that it's there because we've casted this table view cell that we've dequeued as a social account cell, which again is the social account cell that we put that variable in. So we're going to go ahead and say cell.socialAccount is equal to the social account we just declared right here using indexPath.row to get it out of the array. Now when we reload our application, we should be able to see that title printing out, right? But again, we don't always know if we're going to get a title. See, it even says optional Twitter, Instagram, Medium, right? So let's go ahead and go into social account cell.swift, and let's unwrap our social account and then try printing out the title. Let's say Guardlet social account is equal to social account else return. Now when we print social account and we try to reload this, it's going to tell us we don't need this optional question mark because it is no longer an optional value. We've unwrapped it, because if it gets past this line of code, that means it most definitely exists, so we can be able to print it and take out that code. So for whatever reason, one of our model instances did not have a title, it wouldn't even get past this, and it wouldn't even do anything with the title. Okay, so that's how you unwrap with guard let. Let's go ahead and look at the bottom here, and you'll see that it says Instagram, Twitter, and Medium. So let's go ahead and put our title back into the title label in our social account cell, and then we'll end the video there. So we'll say self.textlabel.text is equal to social account title, social account.title. Okay, go ahead and get rid of this print statement, reload your application, and it should look exactly how it looked at the beginning of the video. Okay, so once that boots up, we'll end the video and we're good to go. All right. You can also get rid of the background color if you want it to look exactly like it did at the beginning of the video. So background color is .clear. Okay. Now it's going to look exactly like it did at the beginning of the video. And we're ready to actually start doing something with our data, specifically putting on custom UI views and stuff like that to get our application actually looking like you see here in this app right here. All right. So I'll see you all in the next video.